What's happening, YouTube? It's Simon466 Cards, and today we're gonna talk about silver prisms for Prism Football and the model I created to estimate print runs for each year from 2013 to 2019, with a notable exception for 2016 and 17, which I'll explain in a second. I did a similar video last week estimating the silver prism print runs for Prism Basketball, and it's using the exact same model and methodology, excuse me. And so if you've already heard the spiel from last week, you feel free to skip ahead. In terms of how the model works is I take a serial numbered card and then see how many of those cards have been graded by PSA and BGS. So that's what this section does here. See how many have been graded, and then assume that that's the ratio of cards or wax that's been opened. And then I apply that ratio to the amount of silvers in the pop counts. And what I do is I select the most relevant rookie or cards from each year because they'd be the ones that would gain the most value from being graded at PSA or BGS back in the day, right? 2013. What you'll find here is that for 2013, 2014, 2015, I just focused on Tom Brady. Why is that? It's because 2013, 2014, 2015, those classes weren't very good. And so I just stuck with Brady because I didn't know who else to use for those years to represent those classes. I looked at a couple others, and Brady still had the highest pop counts by a PSA and BGS. I am by no means a football expert, but this is the methodology that I went with. So I'll walk you through it. What I did, just a couple cards here. The 2013 Tom Brady orange parallel was serial numbered out of 50. There are 16 total cards in the PSA and BGS pop counts. And as a result, that means there are 34 that are not. So roughly, you need to take this the pop count and say that you need to multiply it by 3.13 to account for the amount of wax that has not been opened based on the amount of cards that have not been graded for this parallel. And you do that for the purple as well. And you can see the purple, it's only 18 have been graded out of the 40. So that means that 2.22 is the multiplier here from 18 to 40. What you do then is you take the silver prism pop counts here on the right from PSA and BGS, you add it all up, 66, and then you again you apply the same multipliers to the estimate. So that's how you get from 66 to 206, because you're basically tripling the value for this orange and a little bit more than doubling the value for this purple. You'll see that there is a regrade percentage here that just accounts for the percentage of cards that are being regraded and cracked and slabs that are being cracked and resubmitted in hopes of getting a better grade or moving it from a BGS to a PSA slab. And so you can see the numbers are relatively low. That's much different than in basketball, but it is quite clear to me that there's not a lot of regrading happening in Prism Football. And so you apply the same methodology here for all the classes. Like I said, I had to use Brady for 13, 14, and 15 because the rookies in each year were not very good or were not worthy enough of using them. And so Brady was the best representative for those sets. The other thing is that you'll notice 16 and 17 were here. It's because in 16 and 17, the Silver Prism, there was no base card. The Silver Prism was the base card. And so as a result, it's not the same comparison, right? For all these other years that I'm showing here, there's a base card and then a Silver Prism card. And that's the card we're trying to get after here. So that's why the Mahomes class isn't here, and he's been left out of it because Prism took a different format in those in 16 and 17. And then in 2018, finally, we have some rookies to care about. We have Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen. So we look at oranges, red waves, and purple powers between them and Tom Brady. And then for 2019, Kyler Murray as well is the key rookie there. And the one thing, it's almost like a double check that I did, is I checked the Brady with the Lamar and Josh Allen, and you could see that the one, in terms of the number of cards being graded, it's much it's much lower among the Brady's compared to the rookies, which I thought was interesting. And so maybe that is a phenomenon that would have happened in 2013, 14, 15, but none of the rookies were good enough to be graded. So these numbers may be a little bit high, which means these numbers might be a little bit high, but I don't think like after the reset of 16 and 17, I think that there's something to be said for the fact that maybe the 15 is a little bit high, if I had to guess. And so yeah, so that's the model. And if we look at the model and what it spits out, it's that again, I think 15 might be a little bit high based off of the fact that I'm still using the Brady's because there was no really good rookie to use. But generally, you can see 13 and 14 is pretty it was starting to increase. 15 really starting to increase, but again, the number maybe not good. 16, 17 there was no base card, and then 18 there was a reset, almost like they kind of reset the printing plates and the pop counts. But then 2019, off to the races we go, and so this is much different than what you would see in Prizm basketball. If you compare the two, they are very different. You can see just a magnitude change in terms of the Silver Prizms. They've managed to keep them relatively low in football as opposed to basketball. So I think for me, I said in my basketball video, I would not be caught dead buying or trading for a Silver Prizm from 18 onwards in basketball. That's not the case for football. I'd be fairly comfortable trading for one of those. But I'm not much of a football guy. I just don't know enough about the sport. So that's the video. Again, the main takeaway here is that the pop counts are much lower in the early days of Prizm football, and whereas in 2019 it's still manageable, but 2019 it's starting to get a little bit high, and then I think 2020 it's off to the races, right? So that's the video. Would love to hear your comments on the model, my approach. Is there something or a player I should have used instead of Tom Brady in 14 and 15? 15, it just wasn't that great based off of what I could tell. Could be wrong. Let me know in the comments, and also let me know in the comments what sets you would want me to use the same model for to estimate print runs for cards that are non-numbered or non-serial numbered. So I'm happy to take a shot at applying this model to other sets if there is a demand or a request to do so. As we always do on the channel, we talk through the video that's coming up next. And so next time we're going to talk about how LeBron rookie card prices have fared after he broke the scoring record. I made a video about a month before he broke the record saying you should sell your cards now. You sell your LeBron cards now. They're going down. I don't know what's happening here, but this doesn't make any sense. This scoring record should be baked in. This is not a surprise. We all saw this coming. And so I always try to stay true to my predictions and hold myself accountable and see if my predictions were correct. So that's what I will do in the next video. Until then, if you found this information and this video interesting, feel free to subscribe to my channel. Thank you all for listening and watching, and I will talk to you all soon. Cheers.